Hi everyone, welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you're a returning watcher. I'm George, I'm the Good Lad Gamer, and as you can see, just up here, the portal is blue, so it can only mean it's a ×2 event on Ancient Shards. I'm going to be pulling all of my Ancient Shards on both of my accounts, which is just above 200 Ancient Shards, and hopefully we can see some gold. But before we get into pulling shards, guys, I just want to say, if you enjoy my content and want to see more of it, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Subscribing makes a huge amount of difference to me. I'm back on YouTube. I took a bit of a hiatus because I had some things going on, but I'm back and I really want to start seeing this channel grow. I've got about 240 to 250 subscribers, and my next big milestone that I'm aiming for is 300 subscribers. With 300 subscribers, I know that I'm making content that people actually enjoy and want to see more of. Let's get into pulling these shards. Okay, we're going to start on the Galek account. I've made some room. I am going to have to make room halfway through the pull. Let's see if we can get some legendaries. We've got a ×10 event for this guy, June Lord Gregor. I don't know if he's any good. He's one of these super champions that buffs champions in his faction. I think it's in his faction or in the sort of the sort of super faction. I can't remember what you call it. The leagues, the different groups of factions. I think they buff all of those. So potentially he could be quite a cool champion to get, but we will see if we get him. If we get him, I'll go into his kit, as I always do. Let's go, let's go. First 10 pull. A legendary straight out of the bat. I got some really good luck on my last video. I was pulling 14 sacred shards, and I think I pulled 3 legendaries in total. And because it was part of the fusion for Thor, I got an extra 2 legendaries because they're guaranteed at the end of the fusion. No one of note in that one. Maybe a cult brawler if you're early game and you're looking for a poisoner. But moving on, I'm not really interested in epics as always. I've got most of the epics in the game, if not all of them at this point. I pull shards nearly every weekend, so yeah, I mean, I've got epics. I've got the epics. No one of note in that one. The only epic was the Ursine Ice Crusher, and he is no good. No good whatsoever. So moving on. No legendaries yet. I think that's 30 shards pulled. I think I can pull around 60 before I need to start making room. And I've got just over 100 shards, so hopefully I shouldn't have to make room too much in this video, because I do it quite a lot. A Channy, whatever we're going to call her. Not interested though. Moving straight on, I can tell you that. Come on, a legendary. I just want to see 1 legendary for each account. 1 legendary for each account. I don't think that would be too much to ask for. Moving on, only res in that one. Only res in that one. Is the game setting me up? The game might be setting me up for something nice, and there it is. There it is, a big un. And I can't remember what account we're on, but I do use big un as my food champ for running campaign for farms. So he is my campaign farmer. But Biggin is a big boy. As you can see, he's a big boy, and he's got an AoE on each of his attacks. That's why I use him as a food champion. On his A1, attacks 1 enemy, attacks all enemies 1 time if the first attack is critical. So because he is a what do you call it? He's got an attribute. He's not a void champion. He is a magic champion, so he can do weak hits. So that is not always a guaranteed crit, but if you build him with 100% crit, it's close enough. And then on his A2, attacks all enemies, has a 30% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. Also has a 50% chance of placing a decreased accuracy buff for 2 turns. And then on his A3, when ascended, attacks all enemies 2 times, decreases the champion's turn meter by 25%, has 30% chance of placing a decreased speed debuff for 2 turns, and then on his aura, he's got increases all ally accuracy in dungeons by 90. So, a legendary, pretty cool, and it's the legendary where I need to make room. So I will go and make room, and I'll be right back, ready to pull more shards. So, let's see if we can get another legendary. Another one. We'll see. That'd be pretty nice if we could get sort of 2 on each account. That would be pretty pretty cool. No one of note on that one. Celestia or something like that. I actually didn't look at her name that well. Looking at all rares and another legendary. There we go. It's two legendaries, and it's a Vizier, which is a great champion. A great champion if you're using poisons on the clan boss, because his A1 increases debuffs. But I'll go through his kit again. I think he's got a fairly simple kit, so I'll go through it straight away. Attacks one enemy on his A1. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 35% chance of increasing the duration of all buffs for 1 turn, and that also increases to 50%. So he does 3 attacks, 50%. You're guaranteed one of them, right? That's how that math works. I guess it's 50% on each hit that he does, but he's incredible for clan boss if you're doing poisons to damage the clan boss. On his A2, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing a block buffs debuff and a 50% decrease attack debuff and 100% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. This makes him quite useful for Doom Tower and stuff like that when I'm going through it, and he can actually be quite a useful champion for these debuffs in particular, especially the block buffs and heal reduction. So in theory, because he does so many attacks on his A1 and his A2, he could be quite good for Fire Knight if you're struggling for a champion in Fire Knight. And then on his A3, when ascended, attacks one enemy, applies a debuff spread effect, spreading 2 random debuffs from the target and placing them on all enemies. Places a perfect veil buff on this champion for 3 turns if the target is under 2 or more debuffs. Then on his passive, places a perfect veil buff on this champion for 2 turns at the start of each round, and he has an increased attack aura by 34% in dungeons to all allies. So that is my second legendary, and I'll take that. That is a win. And Vizier and Biggin, they're both really good champions. I don't particularly need either of them. Vizier's definitely a dupe, but it's 2 legendaries, and that's all I'm ever after. I love legendaries. Lord Legionary and a Trumbor. Not interested. Can we get another legendary? That's what you're here for in this video. Maybe we can get another legendary, and we didn't. And there's 3 more ancients. I will pull these just so you know, just in case we get a naughty secret little legendary at the end. Another rare, Meat Carver, and one more rare. So what I'll do, guys, I'll go on to the Kale account and we'll do exactly the same over there, and hopefully we get just as good luck. Right, so we are on the Kale account. We've got 114 ancients. Let's go. Come on, legendaries. Imagine if we got 4 in total in this video. That would be unheard of. That would be lovely for me. That would be lovely. No one of note in that one at all. So I'll move straight on. 3 epics, but, you know, not into epics. Don't need epics. And a legendary. Look at that. A Scartosis. Scartosis. I'm going to stop saying it. Right, we'll go through his kit. Let me double check it. It looks... Oh, that's a bit of a tongue twister there. It looks pretty simple. So on his A1, attacks all enemies, has a 35% chance of stealing 1 random buff from each enemy. So he's got an A1 that does AoE. That's pretty good. I think I used this guy in Faction Wars for the Undead Hordes, but, you know, that's all I used him for. But if you're struggling and you've got him, maybe this is the guy you need. On his A2, places a 50% increase attack buff and a 30% increase crit rate buff on all allies for 2 turns. And then on his A3, when ascended, removes all debuffs from all allies, then heals them and fills their turn meter. The amount by which each ally is healed increases according to the number of debuffs removed from them. The amount by which each ally's turn meter is filled increases according to the number of debuffs removed from them. And then he has a increased speed in dungeons by 33% for all allies. So that is, I think it's Skartorsis? Skartorsis. Skartorsis. Yeah, let's go with that. Anyway, a legendary. That's 3 in this video from 100 ancients, or over 200 ancients, and I'll take that as a win. Hopefully we see one more. Fingers crossed for me. We see one more, please. Whew, 3 legendaries. I'll take that as a win. But a nice even number. No one wants an odd number. No one of note in that one. There was a new rare there that I didn't recognise, but it's a rare, and I don't need rares. I need more and more legendaries. I always need more legendaries. No one of note in that one either. We've got a couple of epics, a couple of rares. There was an apothecary. Apothecary is, you know, a legendary and a rare skin. If you've got him, build him, use him. He's great. Moving on, though. Fenshi. Not interested in Fenshi. Come on. One more legendary. We got that one so early. So early. If I can get one more legendary, I'm happy. A Frozen Banshee. The only one of note in that one. And I need to make a little bit of room. I'll be right back. So, we are back. 54 Ancient Shards to go. Let's get pulling. One more legendary is all I want. I don't think that's too much to ask. One legendary. 4 in total. One legendary. That's all I want. Chancellor, Yasmin, and a Yaga the Unsatiable, I think his name is. Moving on, though. Taurus, a Cult Brawler, and Fear Gun Isabel. Let's go with that. Moving on. I don't need to spend time on that. A legendary. Come on, game. Come on. Horden, not interested in you. You were the first fusion, I think. Was Horden the first ever fusion? Not fusion, fragment summons. I think he was pretty early on a fragment summons. He was one of the first ones. Spider and Baroth, the Blood-Soaked. Moving on, though. Don't want epics. Only want legendaries, please. Is it all rares? No. Oh, hey! Corvus is one of my most wanted champions. Not because he's good. I don't know if he's any good. I think he's fairly good. But just because of the way he looks. Look how cool that skin is. What an epic looking champion. What a fantastic design. You know, we've got the sort of medieval knight, the sort of dirty medieval knight, mixed in with the sort of plague doctor helmet. I think he looks so good. Right, I will go through his kit just to double check that there's no sort of tongue twisters in there. And I'll be right back and I'll go through his kit with you guys. Corvus seems pretty simple, so I'm just going to go for it. On his A1, attacks one enemy, has a 40% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack for 2 turns on the enemy. On his A2, attacks all enemies 2 times. The first hit increases the duration of all enemy debuffs by 1 turn. The second hit increases the duration of all ally buffs for 1 turn. And then on his A3, attacks all enemies 2 times. Each hit has a 75% chance, 100 when booked, of placing 5% the big boy poisons debuffs for 2 turns. After attacking, places a 25% poison sensitivity debuff on enemies under 2 or more poison debuffs. And then on his passive, decreases the damage enemies under poison debuff inflicts by 5% per poison debuff. Stacks up to 25%. And then he has a increase allied defense in all battles by 30%, which is a great aura. Great aura if you're doing sort of clan boss and stuff like that. But Corvus, one of my most wanted champions, and I finally got him. He looks incredible. I don't really have a use case for him, but he looks really cool. And maybe if I'm wrong, tell me in the comments if I'm wrong and he should be used in one of my teams. I do have an unkillable clan boss team, and I think on this account it uses Dracomorph. So I don't know if Corvus is going to replace Dracomorph anytime soon. But still, one of my most wanted champions, and it was on the last 10 pull. So we'll just pull the last 4 remaining Ancients, and hopefully we get another legendary. But I'm pretty happy with 4. I'm pretty happy. I'm a happy raid player right now. I think that's pretty good odds, to be honest. So I'm just going to skip through these ancients. If we get another legendary, I guess I'll take it. But we're not going to get one. We didn't. So for 4 legendaries from just over 200 Ancient Shards, I would say that's pretty good. And I just want to say, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I got 4 legendaries in total, and I got one of my most wanted champions. I actually lied in my last bit. On this account, I don't use Dracomorph, so maybe he could be my damage dealer in Clan Boss in my unkillable team. That might be quite cool. It might be quite good to get one of my favourite looking champions into one of my teams. And if any of you guys got any game-changing champions from this shard pull or this shard pull event, please do let me know. And also let me know if I'm using my champions wrong. If Biggin is wasted, completely wasted as being my campaign farmer, please do let me know. And let me know if you've got any cool champions or any game-changing champions. And as always, if you enjoy my content and want to see more of it, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.